A new documentary works to offer a heartfelt portrait of how one small metro Atlanta community showcases transformation, cultural fusion, and community spirit all through the lens of its residents. Caroline Kamick, the co-director and co-executive producer of the film Made in Doraville, joins us now. And Caroline, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. You're a Doraville native, right? So what makes this community so special?
We really have always tried to figure that out. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we were all brought up in kind of a blue collar, nobody had any money. There really wasn't I can't think of anybody that you could even call middle class, quite frankly. So I've just felt like we've all had very same humble beginnings. And it was just, it's a very small community that just, I feel like the whole reason that we were the way we were was to produce this documentary. That's the only explanation that it keeps coming to me.
So what made you want to do a documentary on this small town?
Well, a guy that I grew up with, very close family friend, has two houses in Doraville that he rents out. And he's very nostalgic and very sentimental too. And he said he knew that I was equally the same way and was so passionate about how we were brought up. And he said every time he drives out of there, he thinks of a successful story of somebody that came out of Doraville or just the memories that we have. And he just was inspired. And he said, I think we should do a movie about Doraville. And I wanted to laugh. I mean, I didn't know how to react, but because he's such a businessman, I took him seriously. That was like the only reason why I didn't just laugh at all. I just felt like there was something behind that, and I knew he was sentimental too. It just was, I was just meant to do it. Yeah. And he told me, and anybody that knows me knows why he would pick me, because he knew I would take off and run, and I just couldn't let it go. I could not, even though I didn't know what I was doing, I could not let it go.
Yeah. Doraville has changed dramatically over the years, right? A little small factory town to now a diverse, multicultural hub there. What was the biggest challenges in capturing all that as far as its evolution goes?
Well, a lot of this was just so organic and so meant to be. The girl that wrote it, who's 2 years younger than me, it took me about 2 years to find someone to write it. I mean, and I was working it from every way I could to try to sell the idea to anyone. And she wanted to write it about my life because we had a tragedy in my family that brought the community together, and we didn't want to touch onto it too much because my family was not super comfortable with that, and it wasn't necessary. But it enabled us to tell it a little bit around my life, and I graduated from the school that we went to, and so you could genuinely see where it went from this all-white community to this international community that I taught. And then we interviewed even a girl that I coached in cheerleading, and now she teaches. It's now Cross Keys High School. It wasn't the same high school because now our high school is a middle school. But I taught her there, and I taught her in high school. And so it just, it really became very natural because I have such a connection with, I only taught for 10 years, but I have such a connection with all my old kids, and everyone just means so much to me.
You have a very special voice in this documentary, one that's close to us, Chief Meteorologist Chris Hulcom. How did you get that together?
Well, Chris and I lifeguarded at the Doraville City Pool, and you get to know somebody quite well when you're working 7 days a week all day long. And Chris, I always say I taught Chris how to do gymnastics, and we used to flip all the time outside in the grass off the diving boards, and we became really, really close, and have stayed close. All of us from that pool have stayed close. And he, you know, I wanted him to do this, but of course I knew how busy he was, you know. And he longed for me to ask for him to do the voiceover, you know, or do something in it. And it just worked out perfect because the movie is called Made in Doraville. Yeah. And Chris was made in Doraville.
Yes, he was.
You know, we watched I watched him become what he is today, and he's one of our biggest success stories out of Doraville.
Well, we can't wait to see this film, and thank you for talking about it with us today, Caroline. Really appreciate you. Made in Doraville debuts tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. at the Terra Theater on Chester Bridge Road. Seats are limited, so make sure you check ahead. Make sure you get those tickets so you can check this out. Narrated by our own Chris Hulcom.